I quit social media and it completely transformed my business. So it's been about a month now and I haven't posted to any social media platform. And I used to use multiple platforms on a daily basis. And I used to think, how would my business even survive if I don't use social media? How would people know what we're up to? How would I tell people about new things that are going on? Would we lose all our clients? Well, since I've been off social media, my business has transformed to the next level and has been more profitable than ever. And I'm about to tell you how. So I want to start off by asking you a question. Why do we even use social media? As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like why would we even use it? It should be to create brand awareness. It should be to, let people know about what you do, why you're good at it, why they should work with you. And it should be about connecting with your target audience and really getting to know them. The best way to actually speak to your customers, which you never had the opportunity to do before. But that's why you should use it. But then let's think about how it's actually used. Because these days, social media has been less about business relationships and educating people on the ins and outs of your industry and what you're up to. And it's more of a performative piece. It's more about showing off and showing that you're successful and all the glamorous lifestyle that you lead, even if that's not true. The quality of content has drastically gone down, and it's not even about relationships anymore. Like, there's no real connection between people because it's all transactional and it's all about showing off. And in fact, the use of AI now has made it possible that so many people can create content and they're automating their entire social media presence. So you're not actually building any real relationships with your customers because it's a robot talking to them. So you don't get to know them. So you have no real insights on who they really are. It's all just a performance. Everyone is completely obsessed with growth. It's all about how many followers you have, how many likes and comments you have. And these vanity metrics actually do not help your business. And the problem is, most of these vanity metrics can be faked, and they are faked. So you still get people buying followers, buying likes and comments. And even though this thing used to be like, is strategy, in inverted commas, was a massive thing of the past, it's come back with a bang now. And people are doing it even more so than ever because there's this absolute incessant need to look popular. And what's ridiculous is, why do we need to have 50,000 followers on social media? Because do you really need 50,000 clients? I'm guessing that a lot of people's businesses would struggle to cope with the demand of 50,000 people. You may only even need 1,000 people to make a very, very profitable business. You may even only need 10. So why are we consistently trying to grow our following with all these thousands of people when you actually have the right people in your network already, but you're ignoring them to try and grow another 10,000 people who are completely irrelevant and don't care about your business? And there's only one real answer for this, and it's vanity, which is why they're called vanity metrics. It's all to feed people's ego. But people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they're vain. They don't want to hear that all they care about is themselves and to make themselves feel good, because that's insulting. But when we think about it, this is actually true. It's true with me. Every time I get a boost of a post or people, and I'm like, oh wow, I feel good because it means people like me. It means I've done something right and I feel popular. I totally fall for it. I totally have that, the vanity metrics like dopamine hit every so often too. But the difference is I'm not chasing it. I definitely fall for it. It's in our human nature, but I'm not chasing it. Now, a lot of people are focusing purely on vanity metrics because they need that dopamine hit. They're addicted to that dopamine, and which is why we're consistently scrolling through social media. It's why we have that instant satisfaction for certain things, and which is why this constant chase for going viral, even though often it can be detrimental to our business. When I was listening to all the noise on social media, I did something so stupid. I am so annoyed with myself for doing it. And if I was a client, I'd be like, what are you doing? I'd think they were crazy, but I did it myself. And bear in mind, I've been in business for 15 years. I should know better. I'm not a complete noob at this, but I felt like a complete noob at this. So most people who know, I run a members club for entrepreneurs. It's called NOBS, which stands for No Bullshit. And it's all about fostering real connections and building those real, genuine relationships that then lead to business and can help you grow. And for me, it's all been about that in-person connection. I consistently talk about how you cannot fake the in-person connections as easily. I'm sure there are people who can do it, but you can feel people's energy. You can feel if people are authentic. You can actually see what their real conversation is like and not what ChatGPT is churning out for them. So I don't think anything beats that real in-person connection. So for me, it's all been about that. But I found myself a couple of months ago deciding to create an entire virtual arm of my business. And I don't know why. I do know why, because I listened to all the noise. I spent so much time online and everyone was like, you need to build your community. Community is key. Like 2025 is all about community. Sure, I don't disagree with that. But community does not necessarily mean large. It doesn't have to be scaling online. And there were so many people who were living in different parts of the world and traveling, digital nomad lifestyle. Like, I'd love to be part of what you do. I'm just so gutted that I'm not in London. And I felt so sad that I was missing out on all these amazing people that I could connect with, that I felt I needed to create a virtual arm. And so many were like, I would love to join, please create a virtual arm, and I would join if you create a virtual arm. And I think it was like about 40 to 50 people who said this to me. And eventually I was like, okay, if that many people are saying it to me, I need to make this happen. So I did. And I spent thousands of pounds building this online platform and creating this whole thing. And how many of those 40 to 50 people actually signed up? None. Like, it was so ridiculous. People say things, but they don't actually take action on them. And again, no one has the time to do these things. But I got so clouded with all of this noise from other people, and then my LinkedIn started doing really well, and there's all these great people saying, I'd love to be part of your network, blah, 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 blah. But they might have just been saying that for the sake of it, because online, so many people just say things in the comments because they want to show up, or because they feel like they have to go through their checklist of doing so many comments per day to boost their own profile. At the end of the day, it's all about boosting their own profile. They didn't care about joining what I was building. And I spent all that time and energy and effort into building things for people who just didn't really give a shit. And I was really disappointed with myself, because that was not in my vision. I never wanted to do that, and I don't even believe in it. And I didn't feel connected with it. So I spent all that time building something I didn't even want to do, which is why I decided to jump off social media. And I just completely quit and got rid of all the noise. I didn't use LinkedIn, I didn't use YouTube, I didn't use Instagram, didn't use Twitter. Those are the main ones I used to use, and I used to use them, be on them every single day. I didn't touch them. And I just felt so much better. There was less noise. I spent time actually going back and strategizing my own business, building out this vision, going back to my original vision, and was like, I need to go back to doing what I'm doing. So I spent all that time rebuilding my business and not speaking to other people, and only connecting with the people who are already members, the people I actually have a connection with. And I just obviously used WhatsApp to connect with them, emails, and actually met people in real life. And all that time I was still building my business one-on-one and having real connections with people, but not having that social media noise around me. And that completely changed everything. So am I really gonna build a business without using social media? Well, I personally am gonna be on it as little as I possibly can. And what am I gonna do instead? Well, instead of trying to grow my following and get thousands more followers, I'm gonna concentrate on building relationship with just 100 people. I have a list of 100 people that I'm creating. I'm only gonna speak to those people. And I'm gonna see what happens, because I think 100 people is a lot of people. If you have a real relationship with them, and if those 100 people can then introduce you to 10 people each, you do the maths and it keeps on going. That's crazy. So you're gonna build your network up anyway that way by just focusing on 100 people. But if you're focusing on tens of thousands of people with this really cursory connection, are they really gonna introduce you to anyone of value? Are they really gonna get to know you and who you are and what your strengths and weaknesses are? No, they're not going to. There's just gonna be another follower. It's just gonna be another vanity metric that doesn't matter. So it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to look popular online, or do you want to grow a legitimate business, a sustainable business that will consistently grow and actually be really profitable? I don't want to just look like I'm profitable online. I want to actually be profitable. I want to have a lifestyle where I don't have to work as much. So I want to focus on building things offline because I think that's where the magic lies. Now, I do think I need social media to grow my business, which is why I'm in front of this camera, which is why I'm actually creating this content. But what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to find a great social media team to build out my brand social media for me, so I'm spending less time on social media because I don't enjoy it. I find it an energy suck. And I want to talk to amazing people, and I will find some of those amazing people online, and I will keep doing that. And I'll spend maybe half an hour a day on my social media looking for those amazing people. But as soon as I find them, I'm taking them offline, away from the noise, away from everything else, and having those real deep connections with them. I'm now going to look at building a really great social media team. And if anyone knows of people who want to come do this and help me build that, I would love to hear from you. And I will go back to using LinkedIn because a lot of people have sent me really lovely messages saying they've missed me on their feeds, and I do enjoy some of those conversations, but I will be much more selective of it, and I'll be curating my feed and getting rid of all the noise. I start to think about all the people I know in the world who are the most successful in my eyes and the people I respect the most and are the most connected. Almost none of them spend time on social media. They don't have this personal brand. And if you think about all the people that you know, like even who are growing the biggest businesses in the world, even take currently the biggest businesses in the world right now, the CEO of all of those, how many of them genuinely have a personal brand that you follow, that you see them posting day in and day out, being vulnerable, being authentic, and being all these things and showing their day-to-day lifestyles and creating reels and TikToks of their life? None of them are doing that because they're actually out running their lives and actually living their lives and running their businesses in a profitable way. Instead, you've got people telling you that's what you need to do because that's the service they are selling. So next time you're consuming content and you're seeing all this stuff telling you what you must do to grow your business, have a look what their agenda is. Have a look what they do for their business. Are they selling the services and that's why they're doing it? And start to think, is this what you actually really want to do? Because I realized that I was doing things I didn't want to do because I felt that I needed to do them. And I think the moment you start doing that, that's when it becomes a problem and you let your mood change, and that will affect everything with your business. So, I quit social media and it was one of the best things I've ever done. And I won't be going back, not properly, not full time, not like I was doing before every day. I will be getting other people to help me build my social media channels, and I'll be spending more time offline. But I absolutely love creating these videos, and so I will definitely be showing up on YouTube, creating educational content, but I won't be spending hours a day in the comments trying to engage with people who are generally leaving negative comments. Instead, I'll love to receive some of the messages from people who really enjoy my content, and I'll happily join a one-to-one call or meet up for a coffee in person and build on a real relationship that way. And I hope you guys have felt this has been a useful video, and you try quitting social media and see what it does for your business.